Happy Canada Day, everybody. Yeah, so Sony just dropped a couple big bombshells on us today. First off, they're taking the PS3 and Vita store completely offline after like 20 some years or so. That alone isn't that much of a surprise. It's kind of impressive that they've kept it up for so long, to be honest. But it does mean that there's going to be a pretty big pile of digital-only PS3 games that are just not going to be available for purchase anywhere, so if you don't already own them, then you're legally not going to be able to play them. You know, legally. So not a huge shock, but it does kind of highlight the downsides of digital downloads and why it's important for games to be available physically as well. Speaking of which, so in 2028, Sony will not be pressing any more physical discs for PS4 or PS5. What the fuck? Yeah, I expected the next generation of consoles to be digital only, like that's just the direction the industry's moving in. But I never expected physical games to just get dropped like that before the next gen was even announced. This also comes on the heels of Rockstar announcing that there will be no physical copies for GTA 6. I don't think that Sony was waiting for this. Like, I don't think Sony wanted permission from Rockstar to go digital only. I think that's just kind of a coincidence, but still. I remember when that news broke, I saw people saying that Rockstar was bringing about the end of physical media, and I thought that was kind of an overreaction, but, here we are. But hey, I mean, digital is pretty convenient for both customers and publishers. For customers, you don't have to get up and swap discs anymore, you don't even have to leave your house to buy your games. And for publishers, you get a slightly bigger cut since you don't have to press a disc and give a cut to a retail store or anything like that. And once you sell the game, it can't be resold to someone else without that guy getting you a cut too. So it's a win for everyone. Just like how if you ignore all the downsides, a tapeworm is a great way to lose weight. The problem is, with a digital game, you don't own that. You have a license to download it and play it, but you don't own it. So you could spend a good $70 on a digital game, then spend even more for all the DLC, buy a bunch of microtransactions or something, only for the publisher to turn around and remove that license just because they can. That may not happen often, but it has happened. Remember this? Yeah, I remember. I mean, this is a physical game, so maybe a bad example, but the point still stands. And of course, the PS4 and PS5 stores are inevitably going to be shut down eventually. And once that happens, any game that releases after January 2028 is just going to be gone. You're not going to be able to buy it. Again, legally, you're not going to be able to buy and play those games. Legally. Any games that already have a physical release or that get one between now and 2028 are still going to have used copies floating around at least. But with the way scalpers have just ingrained themselves into the gaming community, you just know that the prices are going to skyrocket once discs go out of print. So according to Sony, physical games only account for about 18% of software sales across both PS4 and PS5. But that's definitely not the full picture. You're telling me that only 18% of game sales are physical, yet in 2024, 82% of PS5 console sales were the disc edition? So to get that number, they just took the number of full game physical sales and divided it by the total number of sales, including physical and digital. Which means that any indie games that sell for like 10, 15 bucks a pop and never got a physical release count the exact same as a brand new $70 AAA game for the digital side. That also makes no kind of accounting for used games. Like, I'm sure Sony considers a used game sale to be just a total loss for them since they don't get that royalty, but you could go your entire life only buying used physical games, but still buying all kinds of DLC, microtransactions, paying for a PS Plus subscription. That's all money in Sony's pocket. In fact, according to Sony's own financial reports, that's more money in their pocket than almost any other sector of their business. I don't think Sony would suffer if they kept pressing physical discs for PS5. If anything, the reputation hit they're going to take from this is going to do more harm than good. Sony's publicly shared data supports the idea that physical gamers are a slowly dying minority, but the reality just doesn't line up with that. You can walk into any game store right now and still find plenty of physical PS5 games on the shelf, which means there must be somebody out there buying them. It's me. I'm somebody. I think Sony started to drink their own Kool-Aid a little bit and started to believe their own misrepresented data and thought they could just stop printing discs without any kind of major backlash. But the number of people who prefer physical games is a lot larger than they think. Clearly, Sony thinks that they can just eliminate the used market and turn all those used game sales into new game sales and get a royalty from them, but I think they're going to be surprised. It might result in like a small bump in sales, but I don't think it's going to be anything close to what they expect. Anyway, there is a change.org petition out there to get Sony to reconsider this decision. I don't know if it'll really help, but I will put the link in the description if you want to sign it. I mean, otherwise I feel pretty powerless to do anything here, so the very least I can do is get this out to what little audience I have. I know this isn't the kind of content I normally make, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there anyway. I've been pretty busy in my real life lately, so the uploads have slowed down a lot. But I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I like making Connor's Game Room way too much to just stop outright. So for those of you who stick around and watch every episode, thank you for being here. And I hope you stick around to see what's cooking up next.